Hi, Lisa and Rob. All right.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Steve McInnes. I'm an Expedia Cruise Ships franchise partner. Thank you for joining Expedia Cruises as we travel around the world over the next 22 days. Well, actually, we're 2 days into it. We were in Scotland and Ireland just 2 days ago. Tonight's the second of 8 virtual seminars that I hope will inspire you to dream about your next spectacular vacation with us. Let's cover a few ground rules before we get started. If you want to ask a question, please use the chat feature. It's a little blue circle on the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Ernie will do his best to answer your questions during the Q&A at the end of his presentation. If we don't happen to get to your question or it comes in late, don't be concerned. Your cruise consultant is always available to help you. Give us a call and we'll dig that information out for you. Let me take a moment to introduce you to Ernie. Ernie is very proud to have worked for G Adventure for more than 4 years now. He loves working with a company that's dedicated to sustainable community travel and small group experiences. He's exceedingly well-traveled, having visited well over 25 countries. His last trip was to Egypt, and once travel resumes, he'll continue his adventures in Africa. Hopefully, Ernie included some of those pictures in here. Thanks very much for being here tonight, Ernie. Take it away.
All right. Thank you, Steve. All right. So, as Steve had mentioned, hello and welcome to tonight's virtual travel talk. My name is Ernie Ballant, and I'm one of the BDMs in Ontario with G Adventures. So, the main premise of tonight is essentially to stay connected and stay inspired about travel and talk and have some sort of plan in action of what we're going to do once travel resumes. For those who know us and know that we believe in travel and it can be the greatest form of wealth distribution the world has ever seen. How do we think that? Well, through small group travel and powerful experiences in some of the world's most incredible places, we empower curious travelers while we oh, hello. So today we're going to be talking about the Galapagos. We have some great small boat experiences that I like to highlight. So, marine tours with G Adventures. G Adventures marine tours connect travelers to the world's greatest aquatic destinations abroad, small, intimate ships and yachts. Each tour has been carefully designed to deliver unparalleled access to out of the way ports and islands, and to foster meaningful connections with local people and cultures in a way you simply won't get from large ship cruising. In addition to the Galapagos, our main programs include the Antarctica and the Arctic expedition style travels, riverboat experiences in Burgundy, the Amazon, and the Mekong, as well as sailing. In addition, we operate our boats exclusively, so it is all owned or chartered by G Adventures only. No single supplements for those solo travelers, guaranteed departures, local experiences, upgraded comfort service levels, as well as flexible, balanced relaxation, action, and adventure all on board a small ship. So if you don't want to do something, you don't have to. That's the beauty of traveling on one of our marine tours with G Adventures. So small boats, big adventures. The Galapagos is incredibly naturally diverse. It is the crucible from which Charles Darwin earth-shattering theory of evolution sprang. There was there are species of birds, animals, and plant life here that you simply won't find anywhere else. Why smaller is better? All of our group sizes on our marine experiences are 16 to 20 for the Galapagos. We have personalized service, less waiting around, no queues to get on and off the boat. And like I had mentioned previously, there's a lot more freedom. So less people to navigate through the beautiful surroundings as well as landscapes. And if you don't want to do something like a hike or anything like that, you don't have to. The Galapagos Islands. Let's take a look at the 5 specific areas within the Galapagos Islands. So first off, we have the Western Islands of Isabel and Fernandina. The largest and youngest of the Galapagos Islands, the less visited Western Islands contain some of the archipelago's largest colonies of birds and marine iguana, and boundless snorkeling opportunities. So if you are a huge snorkeler, this would be the area that you would want to focus on as well. If you're looking for wildlife, here are some great options for you as well. Some things that are some of the big highlights within the Western Islands. Hiking to Sierra Negra, which is well over 3,600 feet high volcano. We visit massive volcanoes of seabirds and iguanas within this area as well. As well, we get to hike through some phenomenal lava fields over black lava flows. And this area has one of the 5 largest volcanoes in all of the Galapagos. Then we move on to the southern islands of Floriana and Espanola. The southern Galapagos Islands are home to top-notch snorkeling and porky traditions. Volcano bays and unusual land formations provide shelter for a dazzling array of birds and fish. And the charming simplicity of Post Office Bay, which is very, very famous, always raises a grin or two as well here. Some fantastic things to look forward to when traveling to the Southern Islands. They have some phenomenal white sand beaches on Grenadier Island or scale volcano land formations. So if you're a little bit more active, then obviously the land formations are going to be what you're looking for. As well, they also have posts up on Post Bay where they actually have visitor supported hand delivery systems as well. So this is where travelers actually can pick up letters that have been mailed, whether it be years ago, recently, that they can actually take back and hand deliver to those within their community. I've had a few of my colleagues that have done that, and they've actually delivered it to some of their neighbors within the BC as well as the Ontario area, which is absolutely phenomenal to be able to do something like this as well. And this, again, the Southern Islands is phenomenal for snorkeling as well. Then we look at the Central Islands. The Central Islands consist of Santiago, Santa Cruz, and the smaller surrounding islands as well. The Galapagos Central Islands are perhaps the best spots for which to witness the full scope of the archipelago's incredible natural diversity on land, as well with snorkeling under the sea as well. While close together, each of these small islands has developed in isolation from its neighbors, spawning an amazing collection of plants and animals. Some fantastic things to look forward to, which are big on my book as well, is the 100-year-old Galapagos tortoises, which are located on Santa Cruz Island. Enjoy the beautiful view from Pinnacle Rock on Bartholomew Island. You also have the opportunity to explore hidden snorkeling spots and white sand beaches on Santiago as well. This, as well, is a huge highlight, is having the opportunity to actually snorkel and swim with sea lions off of North Seymour Island as well. Then moving on to the northern islands of Genovesa. It's hard to tear your eyes away from the water in the Galapagos, but you'll want to look skyward on Genovesa, home to an amazing constriction of bird life. This tiny rock is no slouch under the waves. It literally is covered with a mountainful of frigate birds. This is also going to be a great opportunity to snorkel for sunken hidden volcano craters. So this is going to be a great opportunity for those that are looking to essentially spot sea turtles as well as reef sharks. And don't worry, they are harmless. We also offer some more active experiences as well, where you can actually go and experience and explore the island, where we actually let you hike the trails to El Barraco, which is a top-notch vantage point, passing massive colonies of seabirds along the way as well. So as you're walking through the island, you'll have the opportunity to literally get within feet of these amazing frigate birds. And depending on the time of year that you're going as well, there will be some fantastic opportunities to see them while they're nursing, nesting, and essentially bringing up their offspring as well. Then moving on to the East Islands, which is San Cristobal. This is literally an aquatic haven of biodiversity. And for snorkelers and scuba divers, this is going to be one of the top areas as well. Right off of San Cristobal, there's some of the most clearest waters within the Galapagos as well. Regardless of what you're looking to do, you'll have the opportunity to spot colonies of blue-footed boobies, frigate birds, as well as take in the beautiful volcanic landscape. We have some fantastic opportunities here for you to experience. We have sailing through mysterious Kicker Rock, as well as diving if you're looking for a little bit of adventure. We have a hike that takes you to Punta Pita in search of three of the distinct types of boobies in the area as well. Relax on the white sand beaches if you're looking more for a laid back type of experience. So, what are the trip durations like? For many people, the Galapagos Islands is one of those destinations that is once in a lifetime. It's a bucket list destination. And with that in mind, what does that mean for your trip duration? How long are you looking to travel for? Regardless of how long you're looking to go for, we have itineraries that are as short as 7 days. If you're looking for a quick in and out, if you've already experienced the Galapagos, but if you're looking for your first time experience and you just don't know, what to experience, we have itineraries right up to 17 days, which also include a land and sea combo. So depending on the duration, you can actually pick and choose the itineraries that fit perfectly for what you're looking for. So the fleet is also something that's very, very important. People want to know, well, what are we going to be sailing on? What do these small ship yachts look like? So there's a variety of choices. For the Galapagos alone, we have 49 different itineraries available to book. We have 3 yachts currently available and 2 different service levels. So we have our standard as well as our upgraded. The fantastic thing about traveling with Chi to the Galapagos is that it's affordable. Like I had mentioned as well, it's smaller. So you're looking at anywhere from 16 to 20 total guests. And the fantastic thing about traveling with G is that we're sailing through the evenings and nights. This allows you to maximize your daytime on land experiencing the various islands. We also have our local CEOs, which is our chief experience officers, also known as tour managers, and they are registered national naturalist guides with the Galapagos National Park. Some of the inclusions that we offer as well is flights from Quito to the islands, pre or post nights on the islands as well, depending on the itinerary, of course, and all meals are going to be on board your yacht. Every yacht has its own specific perks. So let me go over some of the yachts that we have. So first off, we have the Rene Sylvia Voyager. So this is the newest yacht that we currently have in our lineup, and it was custom built by G Adventures, by us. So this is a high-end luxury catamaran, like I had mentioned, with all the bells and whistles that you can imagine. This has a max capacity of 16 total guests, and it is of an upgraded service level. There is private balconies, and like I had mentioned, we have our private CEOs, naturalist guides, that's with the group as well. All of your meals will be included on board. We also include the snorkeling gear as well as the wetsuits. We also offer kayaking, and not to mention, we also have a jacuzzi on board to relax and unwind on those evenings while we're sailing on through the Galapagos. So this is the inside of what the Renee looks like. So there's four main deck there's four main cabins on the main deck. This just kind of gives you an idea of what it looks like. And those four main cabins also have balconies. We have one double cabin with no balcony and two upper twin cabins, which do also have cabins or balconies as well. And for those solo travelers, this catamaran actually does feature solo cabins, which also have balconies en suite as well. So if you are a solo traveler, we definitely have you covered on that end as well. Then moving on to our third, which is our Eden. So this is another one of our standard yachts that we have available. Fantastic pricing on this one as well. This one is a max of 16 total guests. And there's a variety of different cabins available, everything from double for those couples as well as twin cabins. In addition, there's two upper decks as well, which are all outside, great for relaxing, taking in the scenery when we have the opportunity to either snorkel or relax and take it easy. Your CEO is also coming along with you on this journey, and we have all the meals included on this as well. And just like all the other ones, we also offer the wetsuits as well as the snorkeling gear. So this is what the inside cabins look like as well. So on the bottom left is our three deck. This is on our third deck. It's our twin share double cabins as well. And then moving on to our right, we have our main double cabin, and then we have our four lower deck twin shared cabins on the lower berth as well. Then moving on to our Yolita. So this is another one of our upgraded yachts that we have available as well. And on this one, it will be a max of 16 total guests. And this is actually one of our highest rated yachts right now. The Renee actually started back in July, just joined the fleet, but unfortunately, for obvious reasons, has not had the opportunity to do its maiden voyage yet. So the Yolita remains as our number one ranking yacht currently available. This is another fantastic upgraded yacht that we have. Obviously, all the main areas, the saloon on the top photos, as well as the dining quarters, all of it will have picture windows essentially for you to have the opportunity to make sure that you don't miss out on anything as we're sailing along. Then we have pictured here on the bottom left our double cabins, as well as our twin cabins. Please keep in mind that all of our cabins will have ensuite bathrooms as well. And some of the yachts that we have actually do have windows within the bathrooms as well, which is fantastic. So talking a little bit about seasonality. This is a great question. I get this all the time. The Galapagos is wonderful year round, but depending on the time of year that you're going, the weather will be better. You're going to see different wildlife at different stages of the process as well, which I will talk about. So the ideal time that the majority of people travel to the Galapagos is December to May. This is essentially their warm season. So you're looking at a mixture of warm rain as well as some sun. But if you've traveled down south, this isn't going to be torrential downpours or anything like that. This is very sporadic rainfall throughout. So it'll rain for 5 minutes, then literally it'll dry up and it'll be like it had never rained, and it will be perfect. You're looking at a temperature high of anywhere from 26 to 36. The water temperature, you're looking at anywhere from 21 to 26 degrees. This essentially also is a great time for those that are looking to experience snorkeling. The water is the calmest during this time as well, and it is at its most clearest. So if you're going to the Galapagos for the main reason to be able to experience snorkeling, then this will definitely be a great opportunity for you. If you're a little bit if you tend to get a little bit seasick, then this might be the perfect season for you as well. But if you're looking for a little bit cooler weather, something that, will be a little bit more comfortable for when you're looking to travel, June to November is also a great time. So this is essentially their cooler season. It'll be cool, dry, weather, which is fantastically comfortable, especially if you're like me, where you cannot handle the heat and you start sweating. This is definitely going to be a great opportunity for you as well. You're looking at a temperature low of anywhere from 21 to 26, as well as cooler water temperature for snorkeling, which will be 18 to 23 degrees. But the thing also with this, yes, you will be getting calmer water in the summer or the warmer season, as they call it. But if you're looking for the marine wildlife and to have the opportunity to experience it the most, then the June to November opportunity will probably be best if you're looking to capitalize on the marine wildlife, as that's when they're most active. Then moving on to our wildlife. So one of the big things about the Galapagos and what they're very, very famous for is the blue-footed boobies, as you can see in the picture here as well. But there are specific seasonalities and specific months that are best to travel if you're looking to capitalize on specific parts of the opportunity to see some animals at their heightened ability. So I just wanted to talk about some of the main draws. If you're not familiar with the Galapagos, if you haven't done any sort of research or anything like that, but this is something that has been something that's been on your bucket list. Some of the main draws for the Galapagos are the sea lions, the marine iguanas, as you can see pictured here, the frigate birds. We have our Galapagos flamingos as well, and then we have our giant sea tortoises as well. So I wanted to highlight what some of the major points within the specific months are for spotting animal wildlife as well. In June, we have our male frigate birds that begin their courtship of the female frigate birds. So this is going to have the opportunity where you're actually going to see them inflating their red pouches. So as you can see on the top right photo on your screen with the bird with the red bill there, that actually expands and fills with air. And that is essentially their way of calling for a mate and essentially trying to find a mate to essentially mate with for the season. This is where the Santa Cruz tortoises migrate to the lower lands as well to nest. And if you're big into humpback whales, this is also going to be a huge opportunity for you to be able to see some of these humpback whales surrounding the islands as well. In July, this is when the nesting season for the blue-footed boobies begin, and the sea lions begin their mating and breeding season. In August, this is when the sea lions give birth, and this is mainly going to happen in the Western and Central Islands. So definitely, if that's something that you're looking to see when we're going on the islands as well, and to have the opportunity to get as up close and personal as possible, as safely as we can, then this is going to be that opportunity to do that as well. On Santiago as well as Espanola, this is where the Galapagos hawks start their courtship as well. And this is also where the frigate eggs start to hatch. In November, this is where the green sea turtles start their mating season. And if you're big into sharks as well, this is where the whale sharks from the far northwest of the islands actually start to migrate as well. So it's a really, really neat experience to be able to see that in person, to see these massive whale sharks just sailing along, whether you're in the Zodiac or on the yacht. And then in December, this is where the baby sea tortoises start hatching and start going into the sea. And this is also the time in December when the land iguanas also start mating. Then moving on to the next stop. So I wanted to link with the Galapagos, another destination that we do fantastically well. It's one of our top sellers in South America as well. And we offer some fantastic opportunities to be able to experience and combine both the Galapagos with the specific destination. So let me move on to the next slide. So for those that know this picture, it is world famous. If you don't know, this is Machu Picchu, which is right located in Peru. And this would be a great opportunity to combine both the Galapagos with Peru. So, Machu Picchu is one of those destinations that is also on a lot of people's bucket lists. And there's so many different ways that you can experience the destination as well. Um, so before I get into the different ways that we can experience and get ourselves to Machu Picchu, I wanted to talk a little bit about why Peru and why Peru with G. So for many of you, the big draw for Peru may be the history, maybe Machu Picchu. Um, there is so much history within Peru. It is one of the largest pre-Columbian American settlements in the entire world within South America as well. Peru's power and gold attracted the Spanish conquistadors, who used the funds that they found within Peru to fund their vast empires in the Americas. As a result, colonial gems like magnificent Cusco was built on the Inca foundations, making it for a fascinating hybrid culture. Peru is peppered with Incan sites, but none of those are more famous than the lost city, also known as Machu Picchu, as we've pictured in the previous slide. For others, you may think of Peru, you may think of the Amazon. Peru has been blessed with natural gifts as well. A huge chunk of the Amazon rainforest actually falls within Peru, surprisingly or not. And the visitors can actually hike through the jungle. They can trek the Andes and surf the northern beaches literally all within the same week, which is absolutely crazy. Not very many countries do you have that opportunity to do something like that. Not only to add to all of those fantastic things, it is also home to Lake Titicaca, which is one of the highest lakes in the entire world. I've been to Peru. I absolutely love Peru. I'm a huge foodie, and this is also another big draw within for a lot to go to Peru is the food. They are actually number three in the world for the top gastronomy in the entire world. So if you're looking to experience the food, the culture, the history, whatever it may be, Peru has that for you. And this is just scratching the surface. When you actually get there and you get to experience it and really understand through the eyes of our CEO that is from the country, it's absolutely breathtaking and will totally change the way that you actually want to experience the world. So let me move on to why with G. Not only to mention, we have our award-winning tours. We're actually the number one tour operator on the Inca Trail as well. We have been nominated for the past 3 years for being the top tour operator on the Inca Trail. We take well over 25,000 travelers a year to Peru to experience it, whether it be the Inca Trail or doing it by train as well. So there's various different opportunities as well. The fantastic thing about traveling with us to G or with us to Peru is that all of our employees that work within Peru, we have well over 600, all work for G. So we have our CEOs, we have our office staff as well, which I'll talk a little bit about in the coming slides. So they literally know the ins and outs of the destination. They know the history, the culture, all of that. So talking a little bit about the different ways that we can experience Peru, whether it be through the hikes, I wanted to highlight two of the most popular hiking experiences. Um, there are some great opportunities here within Peru to experience Machu Picchu. So first off, the most popular and the most common and the most well-known, which is the Inca Trail. So this is for a lot going to be a once in a lifetime travel experience. But this is one that they're going to remember and cherish for the rest of their lives, especially once you actually get through the 4-day trek and you get right at sunset to the sun gates and see the sunrise over Machu Picchu. That is literally going to be one of those things that you are going to remember for the rest of your life. You're going to feel so accomplished, and it's also going to be a transformative experience. And this we can all help you do as well. There's going to be some fantastic opportunities as you're hiking through the Inca Trail as well. You're going to have the opportunity to see the region's most profound ruins, fantastic mountainscapes, and the beautiful cloud forest as you're going through the various parts of the Andes as well. Because we run our own treks, we ensure the fair treatment of our porters and the quality of the food and the equipment that you're going to experience on the Inca Trail is fantastic. So you don't have to worry that you're going to have to carry your luggage, your backpack for those 4 days. We have our porters that do that for you as well, which is fantastic. So permits. For the Inca Trail, we do have to have permits. Um, and the big thing with the permits is the sooner you book for the Inca Trail, the better. And the reason why I say this is there's a specific limitation that they allow on the Inca Trail on a day-to-day basis. There's a max of 500 total um, trekkers that they allow on the trail. So that includes travelers, porters, tour managers, CEOs. They're all included in that 500 number. So the with that being said, if you are looking to travel and experience the Inca Trail, then I highly recommend getting yourself booked sooner rather than later as well. Um, and these are some common questions that I get a lot of the times as well is why should I book sooner than later? Obviously, to secure your spot on the Inca Trail, but if it's not going to be a big draw for you to experience the Inca Trail, there are some great other trek experiences as well, which I'll highlight. We also have, can you get your own permit as well? This is a no. You can't just show up to the Inca Trail permit or the Inca Trail and purchase a permit. This actually has to be done through a regulated supplier such as G Adventures in order for you to be experienced and traveling on the Inca Trail as well. So those are some big questions that we get a lot of the times as well. So another trek that you can also take, which is a great alternative to the Inca Trail, this is going to be a lot more scenic of an experience. You'll have the opportunity to hike through some small villages, be able to interact with locals as well, and have the opportunity to support some of our planetary projects as well, such as the Women's Weaving Co-op, where we actually have worked with this specific community and had the opportunity to partner with them many, many years ago, well over 15 actually, where they've created an experience and actually show our guests how they used to create ponchos years ago, where they actually used to dye, and they still actually do dye the wool that they gather from the llamas and the alpacas, and they dye it with natural herbs, spices, all of that kind of stuff to gather all the various different colors for the ponchos and whatever other garments that they may be making for the markets to sell. Then they go through the process of how they've actually created the ponchos and how they used to make it. So it's a really neat experience, not only to see what life is like in some of these remote villages within the Sacred Valley, but also get that firsthand cultural immersive experience, which is fantastic. Then talking a little bit about our campsites as well. So I alluded a little bit to our porters essentially carrying all of your personal luggage with you on the hike, that they take care of for you while you're hiking. You could always have a personal bag with you as well. All of your personal luggage and the tents, the sleeping bags, all that kind of stuff are taken by the porters. And by the time you actually get to the campsites on the Inca Trail, everything is all set up. All of your meals are being prepped or taken or literally ready for you, depending on when you get to the campsite. So you'd never have to worry about anything when you're traveling or hiking the Inca Trail. Talking a little bit about the weather and seasonality. The wet season for Peru is January to April. This is where they're going to get the most severe rainfall. Not to mention that in February, the Inca Trail is actually completely closed for maintenance. So there's no hiking whatsoever that can be done. Um, you can literally hike the Inca Trail throughout the entire year. The best times of the year to actually experience it, though, if you don't want to go through the wet season, is May right through until September, October. Then it starts to cool down a little bit in November, December, with scattered rainfall, as well as some warmer than cooling weather as well, depending. Just because you are in the Andes, that weather can change instantly. So I always recommend, even from my experience, is to have a small cardigan, sweater, jacket, whatever it is, for those evenings as well, or throughout the day that you can actually put on if you tend to get a little bit chilly, because the weather in the Andes can change within a blink of an eye. So you definitely want to make sure that you're well prepared for that as well. And for the scattered rain showers, literally that will happen for 5 minutes, and then it'll dry right up. And that's outside of the wet season. So, which trip is right for you? This is where your agent at Expedia comes into play. They are going to make sure that they ask those right questions to make sure if you're actually ready to do the Inca Trail or if you wanted to do the train. Either or is great. I myself, when I went to Peru, I did the train. I wanted to be able to, for myself, be able to immerse and experience as much of the culture as possible. I'm not super active in that aspect, so I didn't want to do a 4-day hike, but we do offer opportunities where you can actually do the last day of the hike, for the Inca Trail, or you could just take the train and meet the rest of the group there as well. So there's definitely some opportunities and some options there for you. Here are some other great opportunities that I wanted to talk about as well. I kind of talked a little bit about the culture within within Peru. There is so much to learn, to see, and to take in within Peru. Traveling within a small group will definitely help. Facilitate that even more. And like I mentioned with the Women's Weaving Co-op, to be able to go into this community and see how travel, as well as our guests, have helped to change this community for the better, is fantastic. To be able to see how they live, be able to interact with them, is one of those things that you don't always have that opportunity to get when you're traveling on your own or when you're traveling in a group, in a larger group as well. So definitely having that opportunity to immerse yourself, culturally in a smaller group, this is definitely going to be one of the big highlights when traveling with G as well. Not to mention, like I had said, the Peruvian cuisine is absolutely fantastic. In the top left there, we actually have one of our Planet Terra projects, which is our Parwa community. Um, and this is also located in the Sacred Valley. And here we actually take well over 1,000 travelers, every single month to this local community where they actually put together a phenomenal feast, of like a modern infusion of Peruvian cuisine. It's literally 5 courses. They have everything from the salad to meat. If you're vegetarian or vegan, they can also accommodate that as well. They're very big into, vegetables and harvesting from the land. So definitely, you don't have to worry if you have dietary restrictions. Peru is one of those destinations, that has something to eat for everyone. I wanted to highlight some of our most, booked Peru experiences as well. So the first off is our Amazon to the Andes. One thing that I wanted to mention here as well, on the map, you can actually see where we have our Inca Trail hike. The beauty with our itineraries as well, especially if you're a couple or if you're traveling with someone else that's a little bit more active and they're looking to experience the Inca Trail, um, you can actually, if you wanted to, have one do the Inca Trail and one do a Cusco stay and actually meet the rest of the group in, Machu Picchu on the fourth day. So if you're not super active, you don't have to worry that this may not be the itinerary for you. You can totally let your travel companion do the Inca Trail, and you can actually stay behind as well and do some more culturally immersive experiences within Cusco as well. So definitely wanted to highlight that. So don't be, turned away if you do see that. We actually do offer the opportunity to customize those itineraries, which is fantastic. So this specific itinerary is 12 days. It's a round trip Lima. This is going to be a part of one of our classic experiences. So you're looking at 3 to 3.5 star accommodations. Some fantastic experiences that we include in this as well, like I mentioned, is the Women's Weaving Co-op. We also do the Parwa community, as well as we do soap making, where we actually do hand make soaps, where we take you into a co-op that actually does that. So it's a really, really neat experience. We take you into Cusco for a couple of days. We have you actually experiencing the Sacred Valley. We take you through a guided tour. We do a pottery making demonstration. And depending, like I said, you can do the Inca Trail for the 4 days, or you have the opportunity to do the Cusco stay as well, which is fantastic. All transportation throughout the entire itinerary is going to be included as well. So definitely this is a great opportunity. Now, if you're looking for something that's a little bit more upgraded, a little bit more comfortable, then our National Geographic Journeys in iconic Peru is going to be the itinerary for you. This is going to be a 14-day experience taking you into the Amazon rainforest, staying at the G Lodge. You'll have a phenomenal experience staying with a local community in the Amazon rainforest, in these raised huts, absolutely comfortable, air conditioned, and safe from the wilderness as well. We'll take you through an Amazon walk through the Amazon as well, which is fantastic. Then we take you into Cusco, do a phenomenal guided tour of Cusco, and that's when you can either stay or move on to do the Inca Trail. Some other phenomenal experiences that we have that are exclusive to the Nat Geo Traveler for Peru for this specific itinerary is where we actually take you into the Cusco Planetarium one evening, and we actually do stargazing, and we actually have the astrologers there at the planetarium talk about the Peruvian astrology, what their beliefs are. They are huge into the stars, as well as what they mean and specific times of years, and it's just one of those experiences that you actually have to be there to understand, which is fantastic. We also take you into a local family's home here in Puno in Lake Titicaca, where we actually take you in for lunch. You have the opportunity to see how the locals live, and interact with them as well, which is fantastic. And here as well, we also take you to the potato park. Just to give you a little bit of information, there's well over 3,000 different varieties of potatoes in Peru. Before I got into the industry and when I was younger, I didn't even realize that there were so many potatoes in the world, but Peru is home to over 3,000 varieties of potatoes. So when you're traveling through Peru, you'll have the opportunity to taste maybe a handful of those. Then moving on to our Inca Discovery. This is another one of our classic experiences here as well. And some of the major experiences that we offer here as well is we take you in to Machu Picchu all across all of our itineraries, where we actually do an in-depth tour. We're not just going to go there and take pictures and whatnot. We're actually going to allow you to walk through the site. The CEO will walk you through, talk about the various different buildings, the sacrifice area as well, and talk a little bit about that. So there's some really, really great opportunities. If you're looking for something that kind of offers that quick highlight, this 8-day itinerary would be perfect for you. So in closing, I wanted to highlight a couple of things here as well. Obviously, in light of where we are in the current state of the world, a lot of people are really worried about traveling. They just don't know if they're ready to think about that. If you are ready have something to look forward to in the future, highly recommend keeping in mind our book with confidence, where it actually allows you to cancel anywhere from 14 to 30 days prior to departure, no questions asked, and you can actually postpone and rebook your trip for a later date. So if you wanted to learn a little bit more about the book with confidence, definitely reach out to your Expedia agent. Um, Another big thing that I wanted to talk about is essentially just travel as a whole. And thank you for taking the time to sit here this evening and learn a little bit about the Galapagos as well as Peru. Um, you know, right now, everything's changing day after day. We don't know what's going on, what's going to happen, how long this is going to be. So we definitely want to make sure that, that you keep your travel agents in mind when you are ready to book. They are going to be there to help you and guide you through, the booking process, as well as advise you on, things to look out for, and what destinations are currently opening up and ready to travel to, and which destinations are the safest to travel to. So definitely make sure that you keep that in mind when you are ready to book and travel. All right. So in closing, I wanted to have Steve come back and talk a little bit about the show special as well before I close off and talk a little bit about the questions.
Actually, it's not Steve, it's Lisa from Expedia Cruises at Mississauga East. Hopefully you can all hear me. On behalf of all of our guests tonight, as well as our Expedia Cruises centers here, Expedia Cruises Mississauga, Mississauga Central, and Mississauga East. We'd like to thank Ernie for a very informative presentation. I can tell you for sure that there are several of us who have actually traveled down to the Galapagos. I have done it personally, and it is one of the most amazing and beautiful sites you can go to. You're going to see so many different things. Each of the islands you're going to visit will have different